Katrine Barrett, how does the Sea Org define worker-oriented, and why is that considered a bad thing? L. Ron Hubbard talks about how executives and managers in Scientology organizations should not be worker-oriented, meaning that they shouldn't be so concerned about the wages and the working conditions of the staff. They should be more concerned about how hard the staff are working and the effectiveness of the staff and whether they're actually getting their products or not. And there should be, according to Hubbard's policies, there's a policy called rewards and penalties, where Hubbard talks about how there should be rewards for staff members who do good work, but there should also be penalties, and the penalties should be such that that they're too gruesome to deal with, and so you don't want to deal with those penalties, and so you'll get done whatever it is that you've been assigned to get done, or whatever targets you're supposed to meet, so that you don't have to deal with these too gruesomes, as we used to call them in Scientology, right? That we made a noun out of it. That's a too gruesome, meaning a punishment that was so bad you didn't want to deal with it. Scientology executives and managers tend to go in that direction because of the orientation of the whole attitude that it comes from the top and goes down, right? Hubbard was a little schizophrenic when it comes to, and I don't mean that like in some clinical sense. I mean, he was a little schizophrenic in that you could never really tell one day to the next whether it was going to be, salty or sweet, right? Whether he was going to be like, ripping your face off, or whether he was going to be giving you a pat and a bat and an attaboy for having done really great work. And so people around him were always walking around on eggshells, not knowing what was coming. Miscavige is just pretty much awful all the time. And maybe there might be periods where he, gives some nice rewards or does some nice things, but that is very few and far between compared to people feeling, his rage and temper. And that has rolled downhill to filter through all of Scientology's organizational hierarchy. So this worker-oriented thing is something Hubbard started, where he basically was like, yeah, we're not so concerned about the workers' feelings, the workers' attitudes, the workers' compensation, and he just sort of threw this out as sort of a management method, right? This is just how executives are supposed to be, and that has been a really big justification for Miscavige to act the way that he does, and for Scientology staff members and Sea Org members to take it, right? Because, well, we're not supposed to be worker-oriented here, right? So they just this is just another one of the little landmines that Hubbard laid in his policies to justify bad behavior on the part of the executives and managers, and for the regular run-of-the-mill staff to just feel like they deserve whatever punishments and bad, poor working conditions they're getting.